Chapter 7. Not even bowling? First comment, Eric shouted after writing his name on Paul's leg cast. I think you mean first name, Sammy said. You know what I mean, Eric clapped back. So, how mad was your mom? I asked. Let's just say that we won't be having any video game and pizza get togethers anytime soon, Paul answered, as Marcus took the marker from Eric to write his name on Paul's cast. So, you still think the whole dance off idea is going to work? I asked Eric, who had shared more details about his plan to get on Victor's good side with us at Paul's house this past Saturday. It'll work, just trust me, he said. Planning another way to stalk me? Came Victor's voice from behind us as we walked toward our class lines, causing Eric to scream. Stalk you? Paul asked. You don't think I've noticed? Came Victor's next question. What are you talking about? Justin answered his question with another question. Ever since TJ invited me to join your little imaginary team, tried to be all frenzy. Ever since then, you've come to me one by one, trying to be my friend, Victor called us out. Everyone except for you. And what's wrong with trying to be your friend? Eric asked. It assumes that I need friends, Victor answered. Aren't you forgetting something? Sammy asked. Like what? He asked back. The fact that you've assumed our attempts to be friendly with you are actually attempts to become your friend, Sammy explained. Isn't that what you were trying to do? He continued to interrogate. Would that be so bad? I asked, a bit offended. I don't need anyone feeling sorry for me just because I'm the new kid, Victor said rudely. It's sad how often kindness gets interpreted incorrectly, Marcus said, backing up Sammy. What? Victor said, seeming genuinely confused for the first time since he'd come to our school. If you saw someone drop their books and decided to help pick them up, does that necessarily mean you were trying to become their friend? Sammy asked. Or if you saw an old lady carrying a large bag waiting to cross the street and you decide to carry the bag for her, are you attempting to become friends with her? Marcus asked. Yeah, and what if? Justin was interrupted by the morning bell, giving Victor the perfect chance to walk away. Hey, we're not done, Paul called to Victor. He didn't respond. Man, I can't stand that guy, Justin said through clenched teeth. I think he's on to us, Sammy said sarcastically. I don't care. I'm still going to ask him, Eric said confidently. Don't forget that we will be visiting the aquarium tomorrow, so if you haven't already turned in your permission slip, make sure you have it with you tomorrow morning, Mrs. Whiston reminded the class. No permission slip equals no field trip. I'm just glad our field trip was scheduled for a Tuesday. If the field trip had been planned for today, I wouldn't be able to go. I've been so focused on Operation New Kid that I completely forgot to have Mom sign my permission slip. Now, use the next 20 minutes to continue working on your state project. Your final draft is due on Friday, both your written portion and your slide presentation, Mrs. Whiston said, turning on her dynamic distinguisher before taking a seat at her desk. Mom's been helping me make sure that my spelling is correct. I'm almost done with my written portion. I'm just going to use the index card we prepared to make my slide presentation. What? Victor said just a moment or two after turning on his tablet. What's wrong? I asked. Seems your friend didn't get the hint, he said, shoving his tablet in my face. It was a message from Eric. It seems he decided to message Victor through his tablet instead of talking with him face to face. It was a message with a flyer for the annual dance-off as an attachment. Saw your moves during the high five song on Friday. How about me and you show the school what the dance is supposed to look like? I whispered. Bad judgment and bad grammar, Victor whispered loudly. Huh? I said, handing him back his tablet. Me and you, he said. It's supposed to say, how about you and I show the school what dancing is supposed to look like? So, what do you say? I asked Victor. Say about what? He asked. The dance-off. Duh, I answered. Is that a name? Mrs. Whiston asked, looking up from her pile of paper she was grading. I pointed at my tablet, and then at Victor's tablet. He gave me a, what are you doing, look. I opened the messenger app on my tablet. Let's talk on our tablet so we don't get in trouble, I typed, then pressed send. A push notification showed up on Victor's tablet. There's nothing to talk about, he responded. But what about the dance-off? Are you going to do it? I messaged back. I wouldn't do that idiotic dance-off if you paid me, he typed, then hit send with a this conversation is over finger push and look on his face. Too bad I've decided I'm terrible at reading finger pushes and faces. Why? Are you scared? I messaged him with an emoji to match. I'm not going to acknowledge your last message with a response, he answered back. You sort of just did. I typed with a crying smiley to go with it. You're such an ignoramus, he typed back with a gif of a monkey picking its nose and eating what he picked. Just give me one good reason why you won't do it. I messaged with an emoji of someone scratching their chin. Dance contests are just like sports. They don't prove your intelligence or how successful you'll be in life, he answered, following by an image of game over in an arcade console. Of course, they don't prove your intelligence or how successful you'll be in life, Eric said as we set up the playground equipment for recess. They're just meant to be fun. Doesn't he understand the concept of fun? I'm starting to think he doesn't, Marcus said as he finished placing the cones for dodgeball. That makes us 0 for 6, Sammy pointed out, carrying hula hoops to the hula hoop tag zone. I've never gotten a 0% before. Feels gross. It doesn't matter how many times you fall, I said, tripping over the jump ropes I was carrying. What matters is how many times you get up after falling. Can Kimosabi please explain his wisdom for us non-genius type? Justin said sarcastically. He means that as long as you don't give up, the mission can still be successful, Marcus clarified. Oh, Justin said, giving me a double thumbs up and a sideways smile. Good thing I have another idea, Marcus said, closing the bottom half of the equipment door. What idea? Eric asked. Yesterday at church, our youth leader announced that we're going to be having Cosmic Bowling Fun Friday next Friday, he explained. And? Justin asked. And Jeff said we could invite family or friends, Marcus answered. Who's Jeff? Eric asked. Our youth leader, Marcus said, just as Funmaker John blew his whistle to call us into our recess huddle. So, when were you going to invite us? I asked as we walked towards Funmaker John. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we fall under the friends category, Sammy said sarcastically. I was going to invite you, Marcus protested. Uh-huh, sure, Justin commented. Why do you think I mentioned it? Marcus said, throwing his hands up. I don't know, Marcus said mockingly. Eric said mockingly. Really, I was, Marcus continued, not realizing that we were all messing with him. Okay, future fun makers, let's remember we have to keep our eyes extra open today since Paul's injured his leg, Funmaker John instructed. Injured? I said. I think you mean broke, Justin said. Either way, we all have to be on top of our game today, Funmaker John said as the first class began lining up for recess. Ever been bowling? Marcus tried to ask casually when 4th, 5th, and 6th grade finally came up for recess. Yeah, but not by choice, was Victor's response. What about cosmic bowling? Marcus followed up. What about cosmic bowling? Victor asked, trying to increase his distance from Marcus. Have you ever been cosmic bowling? Marcus clarified. No, what's cosmic bowling? Victor asked. It's just like regular bowling, except they turn down the house lights and turn on the dance style lights and play fun music, Marcus explained. Whoopee, Victor said unenthusiastically while shaking his hands in the air. I didn't get to the best part, Marcus continued. Unlimited pizza, wings, and potato wedges. What, no soda? Victor asked mockingly. Actually, it's soda, sweet tea, or lemonade, Marcus clarified. Your choice. And how much does this cost? Victor asked, feigning interest, but Marcus didn't notice. No cost, he said excitedly. Guests are free. Interesting, Victor responded. So, what time should I tell my mom to pick you up? Marcus said, feeling a great deal of excitement. Victor had turned everyone else down, and he was so close to succeeding. Never, Victor answered in a tone that sent Marcus's feelings of elation straight into the ground. But, Marcus started, you didn't think that I was actually interested, did you? Victor said with a slight chuckle. Well, if you change your mind, Marcus began. I won't, Victor said coldly.